The difference between a part-time coach with a side hustle that might occasionally pay them and a full-time coach who has a scalable business is not how many clients you have or how big your following is or even how good you are as a coach. It's all about your pricing and positioning. Now, if you ever want to get to that 10, 20, 30, even 40 or 50K per month mark and beyond as a coach, you have to price your services properly to get there. Now, most coaches determine their pricing by looking around, seeing what everybody else is doing, charging per hour, and either copying it or adjusting accordingly based on your expertise, right? If he's charging $100 an hour, well, I'm better than he is, so I'm going to charge $120. Or she's charging $100 an hour, and I'm just starting off, so maybe I charge $70 or $80 an hour, right? But the truth is, if you're charging by the hour, you're doing it completely wrong. You'll always be trading your time for money, which is not why we got into the coaching space to begin with, right? I'm Xander Fryer, founder of High Impact Coaching, and we've helped over 1,200 coaches build multiple six, and even seven-figure businesses over the last 7 years. And today I want to share, number one, why charging per hour will absolutely kill your business and keep you broke, and it actually gets worse results for your clients. Number two, I want to show you how to package your services to give the clients what they really want. I'll give you a little hint. It's not you. And I want to show you how pricing your services properly can actually make you a better coach. So to start off, I want to share with you what I call the starting from the top strategy. Now, the starting from the top strategy, I discovered this when I first started my coaching business. And when I first left my job, I was making six figures and I wanted to get in the coaching space and I needed to replace my income, right? And so everybody in the coaching industry was telling me, well, you got to start with like $100 an hour or some $100 programs and things like that. And I was doing the math. I was like, well, I'm going to need to sell like 1,000 clients to get to my six-figure mark. I was like, I don't have that kind of audience. I'm just starting off, right? It didn't make sense to me, right? But what I did brought a lot of value to people. And I knew if I could change someone's life, it was absolutely worth $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 or $5,000, right? Like, the question that I'd ask you is, if I took away all your expertise and your wisdom, what would I have to pay you to unlearn all that you've learned? Right? And the answer is probably a lot more than $2,000 or $4,000 or $5,000 or even $10,000, right? So learning that expertise, that wisdom is worth a lot more than that. You just need to understand how to price it properly and then actually communicate the value, right? So the old model here is what we call the low ticket model, right? This is the way that most coaches start. Maybe let's call it charging $100 per client, right? So if you're charging $100 per client, right, and you're doing maybe 1 hour a week with them, that means each client's going to be paying you about $400 per month, right? Well, because these clients are paying you so low, they're only paying $100 per session, their commitment level is low. Now that means they're going to reschedule, they're going to push back, they're not going to do the homework, they're not going to get the transformation that they really need. You're going to have to drag them along, right? Anybody who's done this, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? Let's say you wanted to get to the six-figure mark. Let's call it 10K per month to keep it simple math here. That means that you need 25 clients per month. That means 25 hours of coaching every single month, okay? 25 hours of coaching every single month. Now, what most coaches or certifications or things like that won't tell you is if you're spending 25 hours coaching, you're spending 2 to 3 times that amount on administrative and promotional purposes, which means that you just built yourself like a 70 to 80 hour a week job, right? I don't think that's why anybody wanted to get into this, right? Now, if you follow traditional enrollment methods via emails or landing pages or sales pages and things like that, if your copywriting and your marketing is really good, you might get 1%. If it's stellar, you might get 2%. Most people when they're first starting off is more like a half percent. But let's give you the benefit of the doubt. Let's say you're enrolled at 1%. This means that you need an audience of 2,500 people when you're first starting off to get to the six-figure mark. I don't know about you, but when I first started, I didn't have an audience of 2,500 people, right? Now, what I started off with and what we teach all of our coaches is what we refer to as starting from the top or the high ticket model, right? So let's say you started by charging what your coaching services are actually worth. And I'm gonna show you how to position for this in just a second here. But let's say you started by charging $3,500, 3K, 4K, 5K, even 8K. The highest we've ever had somebody charge when they were first starting off as a coach was actually 25 grand. Right? First time they ever put together a coaching program. But let's say you started off with 3.5K. Now, because people are paying 3K, they have a very high commitment level. They're going to show up. They're going to do the work. They're going to get the results. And because they get results, they're going to become raving fans, ambassadors, if you will, and they're going to send you a ton of referrals as well, right? Now, in order to cross that 6-figure mark, that 10K per month mark, you only need 3 clients. Sounds a lot more doable, right? Now, because of this, we find most coaches, right, most starting coaches are actually able to get their coaching business up and running, even if they're doing it on the side of a 9-to-5, because it should only take 10, 12, maybe 15 hours a week at most if you're doing it properly this way, right? Now, when you learn how to enroll, and this we'll include this in another video, when you learn the proper enrollment process, you can turn about 1 out of 4 people into high-paying clients, even when you're just starting off. A lot of our clients are able to enroll at prices and percentages like 1 out of 3, 50%, 60, 70% at prices like 8K, 10K, even when they really learn the skills, right? But if you're starting off 1 out of 4, that means you only need an audience of 12 people. This is a lot more manageable, right? This is a lot more doable when you start to look at it this way. Now, a little bit of context, guys. I was talking to a woman who wanted to work with us, but wanted the help and support of her husband to do it. Now, he had tried this old model to build a coaching business for 5 years, charging like $70 a session, and he ended up broke, overworked, out of money with clients that he had to chase down that just didn't get results. And he ended up talking her out of her lifelong dream because of his trauma. Now, I don't say this lightly, but I'm very serious when I say this. Undercharging is probably the most dangerous thing that you can do in your coaching business because you get uncommitted clients resenting the work that you do, and it turns your passion into a grind, and you will want to quit eventually, right? We see this in the fitness space and in therapy all the time. You get into fitness, you get into therapy because you want to help people. You want to change lives. But because you're just ground down and not being paid enough and having to work your ass off for coffee money, it ends up killing the passion, right? And you never have the freedom that you want or the income to grow and focus on your own development. Now, all right, I get it, Xander. I want to start from the top. I want to be able to charge premium prices. Well, how do I do that? How do I position for premium prices? So there's 3 major keys that you need to be able to position your coaching for premium prices or high ticket, 3, 5, even 8K plus, right? Number 1 is being a solution provider. Number 2 is being an expert. Number 3 is transformation. So let me run through those 3 with you right now. So the first one, positioning for being a solution provider. Now, positioning can mean the difference between charging $300 and $3,000 per client. So this is one of our clients, Courtney. Courtney was in the health and fitness space. Now, she'd been in health and fitness for like 11 years. Very good at what she did. But she was charging about $300 per client. And because of that, she was working like 60, 70 hours a week and like barely making like $2.5, $3,000 per month, right? Now, we helped her switch to solution-based pricing, and it literally 10x'd her prices from $300 to $3,000 per client. I'm going to tell you how to do that in just a second here. Now, here's my favorite part. Obviously, Courtney's income went up about 5x overnight, right? But the best part, the 3K clients got better results. Seriously, right? Same Courtney, same program she was taking people through. But as soon as they started to pay more, think about this. People who pay attention. They get the results. They do the things that they need to do. And because of that, they get transformation faster because they're financially, energetically, and emotionally committed. So you're not just charging for you, you're actually charging for your clients as well. Now, to be a solution provider, right? I hate to break it to everybody. Health coaching, life coaching, career coaching, business coaching, these are all commodities. So if you position yourself as a health coach, a life coach, a career coach, a business coach, or spiritual coach, or whatever it might be, you're positioning yourself as a commodity. You will always be trading dollars for hours, right? But here's the way that I want you to think about this. Your coaching, right? Your coaching is like the antidote or the cure for a rare type of cancer. Now, it might be a mental cancer, an emotional cancer. It could be a physical cancer. It could be a spiritual cancer, right? But you really need to realize that your coaching is the solution. It's the antidote. It's the cure for this rare type of cancer, right? Now, let me ask you this. If you had cancer and I could cure your cancer, if you had cancer and I could cure your cancer, but you had to see me 1 hour a day, every single day for the next year, what would it be worth for you? I could cure your cancer, but you had to see me 1 hour a day, every single day for the next year. I could cure your cancer. It'd probably be priceless, right? But let me reframe that a little bit. What if I could cure that same cancer, but you only had to see me 1 hour a day, once a week for the next 4 weeks? Would that be worth more? Or would that be worth less? It'd be worth more, right? So you're not trading your time for the solution, right? What you're doing is you need to understand that you're charging based on the solution that you're offering. Now, if I can get the solution in less sessions and faster, can you see how that's actually worth more? right? It's worth more if you can do it in less sessions and faster. So you should never be positioning yourself as a service provider, being paid for how many sessions you're providing. Because if you can do it in less sessions, it's worth more. We have coaches of ours that can help, cure stress and anxiety or overcome stress and anxiety in 2 sessions. And they charge $6,000 for it, right? It's not about how many sessions you spend with someone. It's how do you get the result, right? Does that make sense to everybody? So you got to be a solution provider, not a service provider. That's number 1. Number 2, you got to be an expert, not a generalist, right? If you had a broken foot, would you rather go to a general practitioner or the best foot surgeon in your area? You'd go to the best foot surgeon in your area, right? Because that's where you want to go. So people buy the expert. They don't buy the generalist. And the truth is, who makes more money? The expert. The expert makes more money. So this is really important, and this is why we talk about this when you're putting together your offer. You need to niche down. You need to position yourself as an expert, right? And then the last piece here is positioning yourself for transformation, not information. So you need to position yourself for transformation, not information. Now, this is absolutely key in any economy, but especially a recession, because information is being devalued, but transformation, getting results, is not. To give you an example, in 2012, John Walker's product launch formula, an information product, cost $2,000. He sold millions of dollars of this product, right? 4 years later, he started selling it for $297 as an online course. 4 years after that, he was giving it away as a free plus shipping ebook, right? So what you need to understand is information gets devalued as time goes on. Transformation does not. This is why Jenny Craig and Weight Watchers charge $30 a month for their information on how to lose weight. Yet we have hundreds of coaches that have worked with us that are able to charge $3,000, $5,000, even $8,000 for transformational weight loss. Right? And that's all because they're positioning for transformation. They're positioning as a solution, not just the information, right? Now, those are the 3 keys. Those are the 3 keys for positioning yourself for the high ticket model. Now, if you can position this properly, you should be able to charge what you're actually worth for your programs. This could be anywhere between $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, even $8,000, all right? Now that you know how to price your coaching services properly so that you actually make the money that you need, well, you want to figure out a way to communicate your offer in a way that will make people actually want to sign up to work with you. So why don't you go check out this video over here where I walk through how to create a compelling offer so you can do that next.